Let's test. Okay, I think the microphone is working. Video is not working. Uh-oh. At the cycling thing. Okay, there's a video. Okay, it is working. All right, I was checking. All right. Camera's foggy. It's a little bit better. It was like foggy earlier. Okay, so there's a quick test doing calibration. Going to do the Exploring Computer Science 6-period walkthrough for storyboarding. Some students already have in their student portals the assignment to generate a Scratch program that will allow them to talk about what they've been going through the current pandemic or stay-at-home order. This is going to get a little more in depth because we're going to be discussing how to generate a website, how to plan it, how to storyboard it, and it's going to be across at least 4 to 5 days. Basically, what you've been going through. So, as a capstone project at the end of the course, you're going to need to be able to create a Scratch program that I can show you later how to record, and I can do it individually with students who have completed the assignment. So you create a Scratch program, and it would show a few days, and then you would incorporate that further into creating a website. Which would be a few pages, like I said, 4 to 5 pages, where you will talk about your story in depth. Okay, so this will be full credit towards my ECS students alongside their do nows, where you're doing block programming to get credit. So let's jump into what's going to happen. Share my screen. Okay, so I think you can see my screen. So planning your website, right? And I'm gonna read this out to you. It says, come up with at least 4 potential pages. Now I said 5, that's extra credit, hint, hint. But 4 potential pages where your website in the table below. Think about what you want each page to say. And excuse me, I'm going to show you through this short video, I hope, because it's a lot to show you, how to generate each page. And all you would need to do is save the coding and I can review it, or you can go through on your laptop, hopefully you have one, and show me how each page functions. Now, this is a HTML editor. It allows you to save your coding, and I'll try to go through that as we progress. But you will need to start to fill out this form to figure out what your websites are going to be. This will be created for at least 3 to 4 do nows. If you elect to not do this assignment, you would have to catch up on each day's do now, which is going to be just primarily physics based. I'm sorry. So if you participate, it can be fun. But basically, some parameters you got to think about is who is the intended audience for your website? That's the first question. Who will help? Whose help will you need to solve the problem? How can people get involved if they want to help you solve your problem? How will you communicate updates about your efforts to solve the problem? So you got to come up with a website title, of course, and then the URL. We can talk about that later, but for right now, just put whatever is in there and we'll work towards domain names and such to get it generated. I want you to try to develop the code necessary to generate, when you click run in the compiler, the actual site and what it looks like. And we'll talk about that in a moment. So page title, right? We already talked about that. And then this will change based upon how many pages you have. You see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You really aren't responsible for this 3 to 4 day assignment for 4 pages. But if you do 5, like a conclusion or a reflection page, you'll get some more credit towards it, all right? So page description, media, and anything you want to include in the website, and we can discuss how to do that, because that's going to be a separate assignment for participation. You learning through this HTML editor how to incorporate these elements, all right? This is all the computer science trying to promote entrepreneurship here. So you're going to have to really do some research and really dig in. And I'm hoping most of you have laptops because it's going to be difficult to do on a cell phone. So let's keep going. Storyboarding. I keep talking about this. I talked about this last week. Create a storyboard for your website by making layouts for at least 4 of the pages you design. Consider the visual elements of your website, like readability. You want somebody to read it and it's not, hard on the eyes. Color. Don't put something that's fantastic looking and you're trying to catch them in, like an elevator speech, you're trying to catch them in the first 5 minutes. Style and ease of use. Include the media assets you listed for each page. So storyboard 1, you call it the page name. This could be your home page. Just giving you ideas. We're going to keep going. And I'm going to include this in your student portals so you can use it on tomorrow's assignment, which is going to be assigned Monday, tomorrow. Storyboard page 2, right? So you would name it whatever. So I need you to fill these out first. Okay, but I'm going to go through how this is going to work out for you on a daily assignment, because there's a we do that's going to follow, we do video, and I'm just going to go through quickly what I did, but then there's going to be a we do where I go slowly what I did, so you can develop your own web code or HTML code to display for credit towards the computer science classes. A lot of you that have that assignment I posted last week, and there's a YouTube video I generated on where you got to create your own 2-day MIT Scratch storyboard where you make tell a tale or tell a story, and using block coding, you haven't done it. So we have to revisit that again, and I'm gonna have to have a Zoom meeting on that as well, because a lot of you haven't done that initial step, because our storyboarding for web design is going to later on, I'm going to show you how to do it, include recordings where you can include it into your website, but there are stages and steps we have to take. So let's keep going. So I showed you just a few of the storyboards, and here in this box you will write your story. Now you can type it up and using Google Docs, and I'll show you how to implement that into your storyboards and create your story of what you've been doing during the stay-at-home order in Chicago, Illinois. So that's the storyboarding. I think that's it right there. But I want to come back to eventually how you'll be graded. Okay, so I know you can see this. This comes from the curriculum from the CPS system and how we're going to do our Exploring Computer Science. I'm sorry, somebody's outside riding their motorcycle for some reason, and we'll stay home. So instructional day 1, we're going to be going into the social responsibility in use, in website use, as well as relative merits of the influence of web on society, personal lives, and education. And then we're going to go into creating our storyboards, because our day 1 already started. And that's why I was talking about, what are you doing during this time that you have to stay at home and wear a mask? Real quickly, I'm going to show you something I generated as a demonstration piece on what you're going to have to do. Now, there's levels to how you understand this, and you'll see some of these tags, and I'm just trying to go through them real quickly in terms of what you need. So real quickly, I want you to pay attention to HTML, how it's written as a tag. Now, this defines the HTML document. HTML is how what you're typing on a website will be viewed to the customer. So you're going to need HTML tag with h/HTML, which concludes it, whatever you're typing. And this defines the document. And then next you need the head. This gives you most of the information about the document. Okay, so like far as a title. Now the title, the header will come up when you look up the actual document. The title defines the title of the document, right? So that will come up like a header in most of my students' problems when they're doing something. And then the body is the information you're going to type. Now, a lot of you students are going to actually type up what paragraph you want to use as far as describing what you did, and it has to be a 2-person discussion. So you need to so I want you to script either with your parent or with someone, a loved one, like a brother or a sister or a sibling, what you guys did during this time. You can't say, I ate some noodles and I sat at home and played Xbox. No, I need an actual dialogue or discussion. So I want you to do this. A good student to reach out to who's done this a few times, the most is Kimmy Hudson. All right, so I don't want to keep going into that. I just want you to understand what I'm doing. So the next phase is, I took you through that. We're going to try out the website that I'm gonna type in later, or should type into the description when I post this video to your student portals, is this HTML editor. And it's W3. I make my we because I'm the 3 is changed, makes it E. I do computer analysis a lot. So w3schools.com, HTML/HTML underscore basic dot ASP. When you go to this website, it allows you to see everything listed. In fact, let me type this into the chat so I can come back to it and share it back on your portals. Okay, so this is the website. No, that's a different thing. Let me copy this here because you're gonna need that later. And this is how you get to the website you're gonna use during this time. I've already shared, and I probably share it again with most of the staff, websites you can go to, whether it's AT&T, Comcast, how to get affordable internet at this time so you continue your distance learning without not much interruption, and you can keep up and still, exceed. So, excel. So this website here is where you go to actually access the site that I'm on. And it goes through everything you need to know to become proficient in creating a website. And this is delivered to me through the ECS, or Exploring Computer Science curriculum from Chicago Public Schools, Office of Computer Science. This is what you would utilize. So you can click on try it yourself to get a feel for it, and you will run this. Now, it won't look like yours on your screen. I did some changes. For instance, you change orientation. I did that on my screen, right? You see it changed it from side-by-side parallel to underneath. You change it back. It can be parallel or symmetrical. It's always symmetrical, but you can change its orientation. And then the theme, you'll probably get this, but when I run my program, you'll see that I ran it with a different theme. And that's because I'm used to dark coding, because I used to be into the internet and hacking into things for fun, and did puzzle programs. And this is also true at CERN. I like the black background reminds me of Linux coding. So I use this format. And then here you have what is known as your compiler. This is the visual effect that your customer will see, or that they will see as far as what they want you to present to the world. So, you could type something and it's simple. And this is that H1 and, with the slash, but these are your header portions, right? So here's your header, my first heading. This is what is typed here. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, you need the document type, which is HTML. And this is showing you how people who present the websites like Facebook and Instagram and things that you like, even Ansby itself, they have this code running in the background that someone had to generate, which is also known as an algorithm. And this is the routine and process I've been taking you through in generating reports, because the next step or stage is block coding. And then after block coding is hopefully scripting. And that's similar to storyboarding, which is, what you're going to be doing when you create websites or just codes for robots to work. All right, algorithms. So my first paragraph, I can alter that by saying Michael Tyler's, or Mike Tyler's, Mr. Tyler's first program, right? This is changing the actual coding from the computer science side. And then when I hit run, you see it says here my first heading, my first paragraph. When I hit run and compile that, you see a change. All right. So this is just taking you through steps to storyboarding. There's 5 types. There's a capstone project close to the midterm where we got to come up with unique problems for Mayor Lori Lightfoot that are solutions for unique problems. And this is also through CPS. And I would like to get this done and submit to maybe Challenge, We Schools, and other schools who are participating in this, but we got to start with the basics. So I showed you how to get to the HTML editor you need to use to create this and try it on your own, but you will need to create storyboards utilizing the code that I just showed you here, right? So what do I mean by all this? Let me give you at least one partial part of your storyboarding. So this is not what I was looking for. Here we go. So here, I typed something as a demonstration. I have my HTML, I have my body, and my body you see ends here. So everything I want to include, I gotta make sure it's inside my body. Paragraph ends where? Let's look. It ends here. So let's go back for 1 second. I'm going back to not the storyboarding, but back to these tags and how they end. You need to set it up in a way with using this website to create your storyboards. When I take your code, I can rerun your code in my own compiler and see your storyboards go. And then if we have your websites developed, the next step is to take your scratch programming that you made an animation for from the blocks you've assembled. And again, there's some students who have done it, and there's some students that are like waiting till the last minute. Shouldn't do that. We're going to put it together, and then we're going to tackle the mayors of Chicago's problems or unique problems towards this current pandemic. So I know it sounds like a lot, but we got to do some distance learning and we got to do some research. So right now I'm tapping into your citizen scientist skills. All right, so let's go back to it. I ran this code, right, and I got this. Now you notice you don't see the /H1. These are the tags we talked about earlier. But what you do see is the alterations I made to my code, and now I'm going to run my code. Now I've done this with Arduino programming. I've done this with your first robotics programming. I've done this with just showing you how to create binary ones and zeros to English. Now we got to do it with creating our own websites. So how do we do that? Well, the next step is I'm going to type in just as demonstration, because I showed you earlier, when I headed back home, I don't know, I stopped by Save-A-Lot and did some basic shopping. Then, that's the H right there. Then I visited my mother to see if I had any mail. Lastly, I went home and watched, I don't know, a documentary on Netflix. I eventually got some rest and got ready for the next day. Then, right? Now you see all that I typed, right? In between the bracket, it looks like an arrow going one way and the other bracket going the other way, but it's H1, that's for header, right? And then I typed whatever I wanted to say in my next header. Now you could put this in a paragraph. I'm just showing you how it translates. And I can go into a deep story about what I did in that day, but I typed all that in my header because I'm progressing my story. Now you need 2 people or more, if you feel like typing all that, to just talk about your day and then create a web page based upon your day in the coding necessary for it to show like this screen over here, right? Now watch what happens when I hit run. It's going to translate that over, right? Look, it's in black and everything, and we're going to figure out together how to make it probably lower, but that's probably because I put in a header, right? So let's change that real quick. What if I just leave that as header 1? This is a quick thing I wanted to play with to show you something. I can take what is known as my paragraph, right? I'll show you how to fix it because I wanted you to see this issue. I played with it this morning, and I can put that here. And instead of talking about my story in all this, and you see how it became all bold? I don't like that. I can take this and I could put this here and then say, hey, the same thing, but notice how you finish that off correctly. Come back to the end of it. and you put it there, but you need a slash like that, right? So now if I run it, what does it look like? A lot better, right? So then I can tell you further, now you give it a try for at least 4 to 5 days of storyboarding with at least 2 people for dialogue and coded for review by Wednesday. Is it capital W? Wednesday. Okay. Scroll up. This is only for robotics and computer science students and will help you with your midterms as well as finals. Do notice and govern yourselves accordingly. Right? So just showing you what you can do. And when I run that, it's still in the same paragraph. You notice this is the terminator. It should say what? Okay. So I've shown you what I need to. I'm going to send the website links as soon as I can. I'm going to post this video first because some people, they get lost in the sauce, but it's going to be dated for tomorrow, which is Monday. And I want to get a jump on this because I got to call parents. You got to try to set up a Zoom meeting. I think sometime Monday, I got to look at the schedule again. I'm going to be doing a few Zoom meetings, but one primarily is going to be all periods. Now, I've been trying to do the Zoom meetings as I do the recordings, but I guess as I move forward, I'm just going to do the recording for each assignment I post so students can keep up, and then do all periods. That's third, fourth, fifth, and sixth period Zoom meeting where everybody asks questions. Is kind of like a virtual data talk, not a townhouse where we can just talk and socialize, but a virtual data talk where it's like, okay, what about this problem? What about it? And I can share out the YouTube video because as I'm making these, I'm converting them to YouTube, so I can archive them and just hand them out to you guys as we go. This helps me with time management, my 24 hours gauge. It also helps you guys with understanding how serious I am about getting you to that next step in all of STEM. All right, so I hope you're staying well out there. I hope you're staying safe. I'm going to send all these links to you. The assignment, like I said, it will be based upon you generating everything that's in the document initially, and I'll send the pages, but your storyboards, more importantly, how your day progressed, at least say for 4 to 5 days. What did you do? It has to be a 2-person dialogue. You can have your parent on there talking to you, and you can make the story up and put it in your dialogue sheets, or you can have friends that you're close with or family members you're close to help you generate these sheets. I hope this is beneficial. This will be shared in robotics 5th period and 6th period. All of the periods you have to worry about their physics assessments that are coming up in terms of Flint Scientific do-it-yourself at home programs. All right, so stay safe, meaning don't go out and party. Don't spread this thing around. Stay safe, stay patient, sharpen your mind, get better, and hope to see you all soon. And I'll be looking at Esme to see what you post.